Hey everyone, wonderful afternoon. English Facebook Live day. I thought really good timing. Gonna start a webinar in an hour, and so I quickly wanted to run you through what I'm gonna talk about and give you some 3 short tips. So for those that don't have the time to join a 50-minute webinar, I want to give you a straightforward tip on how to be more productive and how to use your time more often. Now, I think while we're waiting, while everyone's coming in, time is the only resource so far we have managed to significantly dilute, create, expand, multiply, get more of, and so on. So time has been a resource that's that's pretty scarce if you think about it. And I always kind of cringe together when I hear time is money. I don't know if you've ever heard time is money. That pisses me so off. Because time is money means that someone just is basically willing to trade time for money. They basically sell their time for money. And I think that's super stupid. Because if you have someone who's on his or her deathbed, and you go to that person and say, hey, is time money? That person says, hey, you know what? I would give everything. Do I have another day? Do I have another week? Do I have another month? Do I have another year? So time is never money. It can be, but that's the cheapest form to use time. And I think there's way better forms to use your time. So that's, I think, really essential. Now, in the webinar today, you can go to productivitywebinar.julianhosp.com. We're going to start at 9 p.m. Hong Kong time, which is 9 a.m. New York time. Would be really glad to have you on. And we're going to be talking about in detail about those things. So what will I be talking about? First of all, I'll be talking about the Pareto principle. 20-80 rule, 20% is going to cause 80% of your results. And how this works is going to be really, really crucial. Once I understood how important that was to use that Pareto principle, it really changed my life. I think that's a really important part in time management, in being productive, and getting a lot of shit done. I think that's really key. So that's the first thing. We're going to talk about how to really understand which are the 20% that you should be focusing on. Because so many people know that rule and know the 20% rule, and then they don't know how to use it. And it took me a long time how to actually use it. And I really had to learn that. And I want to pass on how that works. So that's one thing that we're going to do. Another thing we're going to be talking about is how to schedule an effective morning ritual. And I'm really talking about a ritual, not a routine. A routine can be very arbitrary. A ritual is very definite, is planned, is structured. So we're going to be talking about the good morning ritual. I'm going to be talking about how to have a great productive day. I think that's important. How to schedule your day with blocks, which tools you can use. I'm going to be talking about a lot of apps. I'm going to be talking about Pomodoro, for example, or Follow Up 10, and so on. So really, really good apps that I think. We're going to talk about some really awesome learning strategies. Now, if you know, I had to study really incredible a lot for medicine, for the SAT. I had a lot of studying going on. And I want to give you some really awesome study tips. Just not only studying, talking about learning, how to get more knowledge. I think that's going to be really, really important and quite valuable. I think you'll like that. And last but not least, we're going to talk about time management when it comes to money. And you might think, how is money and time? How can you manage your money by being more productive with time management? Oh, you will see. Huge thing that's going on there, and I think that's always really important. So if you want to have the long version, you can go to productivitywebinar.julianhosp.com. And by the way, how do you like my pullover? Really nice yellow, huh? Yeah, it's new. That's why it's so bright, and it's getting a bit freezy, so I had to kind of cozy up here. And these are the basic topics we're going to talk about in the webinar, 15 minutes. So give you some small tips here. My first tip would be, if you really want to get productive, know what is important to you. And know what is important means you need to have a good goal. Now, we're not going to talk about goal setting now. I'm going to talk about goal setting in the webinar. The topic goal setting is so boring. And I tell you, we all do it wrong. And it took me quite some time to do goal setting right. Because we all know that's a silly, smart system for goal setting. And it just doesn't work. Otherwise, Did your goal setting work so far? Mine didn't when I used the SMART system. So we need to use a different system. There's one thing that's missing in there. And just because it sounds good, SMART, it doesn't work. It's a stupid system. So goal setting, so know what's important to you. If you know what's important, you're really gonna make things happen. If you don't know what's important, you're just gonna drazzle around and you're gonna be crazy and nuts. By the way, I'm walking on very thin narrow thing here. Yeah, it's always a bit scary. I'm afraid of heights. This is about 15 feet and it scares the living shit out of me already. So walking here on my balcony, oh, it was a bit scary here. So that's that. Know what's important to you. That's really important. Next is be flexible with your day. Be flexible, but at the same time be rigid. And that's such a strange concept. And when I heard that the first time, what it basically means is you need to have a kind of system of what you want to do during the day, but you need to be flexible enough to kind of shift it around. Now, you're not going to make it shift around if you don't know what you're doing. So that's really important. So shift it around and know what you're doing. When you're studying, when you're learning something, use the power of dilating time frames. Now, dilating or compressing time frames, that's actually what you want to do. Compressing time frames means if you learn and you learn the right way and you learn from other people, you can put a year into a day or an hour. If you read a good book, and I mean, I read some of the most amazing books, and that's why I wrote my own book, was because it allowed me to get the experience that some people had in an entire lifetime and get that experience kinda, not the same, and compress it into an hour or two. I think that's such an important concept. Compressing time frames. When we talk about money, money and time management has a lot to do. Many people spend way too much money, way too much time on managing their money. They do it wrong. They waste a lot of time. They don't use that time smart. They lose it and they get screwed. They have a lot of fees. And we're going to talk about that, how this is affected in time management. In general, all really important topics. Remember this. You can earn more money. You can screw up your relationship, you can get it back. You can screw up your health many times, you can kind of get it back. Sometimes you can't. I mean, if you just jump somewhere down and you kind of cut off your leg or something, don't do that. All these things are kind of reversible. You can never get your time back that you kind of wasted. So never waste your time. I think this is really, really important. Hey, Dennis, good seeing you. Good, Johanna, Simon. It's good. Really busy day today, so I'll WhatsApp you after the webinar. Sorry, man. Yeah, because I see Dennis on here, and he's probably thinking, "Oh my gosh, he doesn't have time to write me or call me," and then he's on a Facebook Live. Yeah, had a really crazy busy day. It's quite successful, so that's always good. Good time management actually today. So with this, guys, hey, have a good one. Have a really great day. And you know what, Dennis? I'm going to finish this now and I'm going to call you right now before the webinar. So, hey, everyone else, I'll see you on the webinar, productivitywebinar.julianhosp.com. We're going to talk about time management, about how to be super productive, how to be highly efficient, how to get shit done. And I truly mean that. So with this, thanks for tuning in and see you at the next Facebook Live and see you at the webinar. Yeehaw. Weather here, cold, not nice. That's why I have a really sweet pullover on. So, cheers, and Dennis, I'll call you right now. Bye-bye, guys.